David Menzies for Rebel News here in Waterloo, Ontario. And folks, do you remember the dark old days of South Africa Classic? They had this little thing called Apartheid. You were segregated based on your race. So if you were a white or a black person or a colored person, that was the terminology they used. Well, that would determine where you got to sit on a bus, where you got to suntan on a beach. It was an odious system. It's long gone. But is it really? It looks like apartheid is coming back in a form right now on university campuses. And I speak of the University of Waterloo. That's where we are today. We were tipped off, folks. Check out this poster. It is advertising a swimming session for black people only. I mean, can you imagine? So at first, I got to tell you, it was hard to believe this was true. But I reached out to the university, to their media relations department, and here were my questions. Is this real or a hoax? I asked this because the poster that was sent along to me below misspells folks as folk. Number two, assuming these sessions are being carried out, what is the real reason for utilizing the pool for one race only? Number three, is this not the very definition of racism? The fact that other races, Asian, white, indigenous, etc., are being excluded from swimming strictly based on skin color. 4. Many decades ago, activists justifiably organized a boycott, divestment, sanction movement against South Africa for its racist apartheid system. How is your swim policy any different from a form of apartheid, i.e., race-based discrimination? And finally, 5, if someone of another race identified as being black, would that person be allowed to swim? In any event, the friendly folks at the media relations department, and don't ask me if that's spelled F-O-L-K-S or F-O-L-X, did get back to me. Here's what they had to say. Quote, "Thanks for reaching out. The University of Waterloo is committed to ensuring that everyone in our community feels welcome in our recreational spaces, including the pool on campus. In addition to the 21 hours of open recreational swimming that is offered to all members of our community each week, the university has added recreational swimming options for family swims, 2S LGBTQIA plus swims, women-only swims, and swims dedicated to welcoming black folks." Again, spelled F-O-L-X, end quote. Well, first of all, folks, that is what I would call not so much an answer, but a non-answer. None of my specific questions, you'll notice, were indeed answered. And in fact, they're doubling down on segregation. A separate swim for the rainbow community, a separate swim for women, a separate swim for families, and on it goes. This is really racism classic. In fact, I would think if he were alive today, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would just shudder at the prospect of what's going on in our world of 2024. Remember his famous quote from some 50 years ago? His plea of judging someone not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
And yet here we have universities, places of higher learning saying, no, maybe apartheid wasn't such a bad thing. Maybe if we reverse apartheid, it's a good thing. No, wrong is wrong. This is despicable. This is disturbing. The fact that it's happening on university campuses, I think, is outrageous. Oh, well, I'd like to take out my aggression and jump in the pool myself for a swim, but I checked the schedule. Unfortunately, it's not honky night at the University of Waterloo pool today. Darn it. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Yeah, check out that signage behind me, folks. The University of Waterloo's varsity teams are called the Warriors. Warriors for what? Wokeism? You know, folks, I know you love it when Rebel News brings you the other side of the story, but we need your help. Please, if you can, go to rebelfieldreports.com. That's rebelfieldreports.com. And if you're able to, kindly make a donation.